President Joe Biden has been diagnosed with COVID-19. The diagnosis comes as the president was forced to cancel his scheduled appearance at the Unidosus Latino Advocacy conference, with the group's CEO Janet Murguia announcing the news.
Thank you all so much for your patience and understanding. Regrettably, I was just on the phone with President Biden, and he shared his deep disappointment at not being able to join us this afternoon. The president has been at many events, as we all know, and he just tested positive for COVID. So, of course, we understand that he needs to take the precautions that have been recommended, and he did not obviously want to put anybody at risk. He said to tell my folks that we're not going to get rid of him that quickly. We're going to have a chance to hear from him in the future directly. He's just really sorry he couldn't be with us, and obviously we share that disappointment. But we've seen how COVID has still impacted many in our community still, and we understand that he needs to take the steps he needs to take to not just protect himself, but to protect all of us. So we appreciate.
Joe Biden is said to be experiencing mild symptoms, according to a statement from a White House physician. The president left Las Vegas on Air Force One, headed for Delaware, where he will self-isolate and continue to carry out his duties. Joe Biden looked as though he was struggling to walk up the stairs of the aircraft, ascending very slowly and holding onto the handrail. This attracted a raft of criticism on social media, with one commentator saying, "This is not slowed down." Another commentator said, as fully vaccinated Joe Biden struggles up the steps with COVID, "You've got to wonder if that's the end for his presidency. Deceptive Dems will keep right on with their lies regardless." The president is being slammed online for failing to wear a mask despite the infectious diagnosis, with this commentator saying, if Biden really has COVID, why isn't he wearing a mask? Watch this video from just now. In the presidential limo around Secret Service and military and aboard Air Force One, no mask despite having symptomatic COVID. Same guy who wanted even healthy kids to mask.
Share with you that, again, he was going to speak at this Unidos U.S. event in Nevada, and that was something that he had to postpone because he had COVID. These are live images of President Biden in Las Vegas. You saw him just sort of giving the thumbs up right there. So again, he has tested positive for COVID. They say he had a runny nose, that he was not feeling well early today. Oh, and he's going up those steps. It looked like he paused there just a moment, didn't it, on those bottom steps? There he is, making his way up to the steps, all the way into the plane. A bit of a shuffle there at the end. Listen, this is deeply concerning.
The COVID diagnosis comes after Joe Biden said he would drop out of the presidential race if he was diagnosed with a medical issue. Joe Biden's COVID diagnosis is the most recent in a string of events that has led many, including high-ranking Democrats, to call for the president to step down. Senator Majority Leader Chuck Schumer reportedly had a one-on-one meeting with the president in Delaware on Saturday, where he urged Joe Biden to drop out of the race.
And I am told that the pressure from Democratic leaders for Biden to get out of the race is intensifying. In fact, one person who has been out there publicly defending Biden told me just a short while ago, Biden is going to see the whole house of cards come down soon. As for that meeting in Rehoboth, Delaware, I am told that this was a one-on-one meeting, just the Senate leader and the president, and that Chuck Schumer forcefully made the case that it would be better for Biden, better for the Democratic Party, and better for the country if he were to bow out of the race. And David, when I went to Schumer's office to ask them to tell them I was going to report this and tell you this tonight, absolutely no denial from Senator Schumer's office. They only said this: Leader Schumer conveyed the views of his caucus. In other words, the views of Democratic senators. I am also told that Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader in the House, has expressed similar views directly to the president.
But the lunatic leftist media isn't convinced, with MSNBC's Reid saying if Joe Biden overcomes COVID, it's a show of strength, much like Donald Trump surviving his assassination attempt.
Here's the question that I have on that. These two men are both elderly. Donald Trump is an elderly man who, for whatever reason, was given 9 seconds to take a iconic photo op during an active shooter situation. Weird situation. We'll figure that out one day. But his survival of that and bouncing right back and going right to his convention is being conveyed in the media world as a sign of strength. This current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fine in a couple of days? Doesn't that convey exactly the same thing? That he's strong enough, older than Trump, to have gotten something that used to really be fatal to people his age. So if he does fine out of it and comes back and is able to do rallies, isn't that exactly the same?
It
I mean, it's not exactly the same. It's not the same incident, but it's an elderly man coming through out of an illness.
This attracted an onslaught of criticism online, with one commentator saying they really said this live on air.